I've made a decision, and it might surprise some of you. As of today, I'm officially done buying YieldMax funds. No more Tesly, no more NVIDIA, no more adding to my position. But I'm not selling a single share. I'm not panic dumping, and I'm not getting out. In fact, these funds are going to be the engine that builds the next phase of my portfolio. Today I'm going to show you why I'm turning off the buy button, the specific waterfall system I'm using to manage the cash, and the 4 new funds that are getting every dollar of my investment for the foreseeable future. Now here's the truth about YieldMax that a lot of people miss. It's like a portable generator. When I was working the night shift and desperate to quit, I needed power fast. I needed immediate high amperage cash flow to replace my paycheck. And that's what YieldMax does. It's loud, it's volatile, and it burns fuel, NAV erosion. But it can keep the lights on, and it worked. It bought my freedom. But here's the thing. You don't build a permanent power grid out of portable generators. If I keep dumping all my money back into YieldMax, I'm just buying more generators. I'm increasing my maintenance cost and my risk of a breakdown. So the generator stays, it keeps running, but I'm not buying any more. Instead, I'm using the power it creates to build something more permanent. So then where does the money go? Well, like I said, I'm using a waterfall system that prioritizes my real life over my portfolio value. The first bucket is my family budget. I'm a solo entrepreneur now. My tech services business is great, but it can have good months and slow months. The first job of my YieldMax dividends is to smooth out that run. If my business income is light one month, the YieldMax cash fills the gap. It pays the mortgage, it buys the groceries. That's why I'm not selling it. I can't afford to kill the cash flow that protects my family. Bucket 2 is my phase 2 portfolio. Whatever's left over, whether it's $500 or $3,000, it doesn't go back into YieldMax. It buys down into stability. So I'm moving from single stock risk to diversified income. I'm buying baskets, not individual bets. And by the way, none of this is financial advice. I'm just sharing my journey. So here are the 4 tickers that I'm accumulating now. First, HHIS, Harvest Diversified High Income Shares. This is my broad diversification pivot. It's actively managed, uses about 25% leverage, and it holds a basket of high-quality leaders. And I get to collect about 23% yield. Number 2, Biggie, Evolve US Equity Ultra Yield. I still want that US exposure, but I want it smarter. Biggie holds about 10 leading US stocks, equal weight. It's modest leverage, but it pays bi-monthly. It's like a best of the US income fund without betting the farm on just Tesla or NVIDIA. Number 3, Bank, Evolve Canadian Banks. This is a bedrock. Canadian banks are boring, and right about now, I love boring. This fund uses covered calls on the big Canadian financials. It's lower volatility, consistent income, and it balances out the tech-heavy nature of my old YieldMax positions. Number 4, HYLD, Hamilton Enhanced US Covered Call. This is the fund of funds. It's giving me S&P 500-like sector exposure with that Hamilton leverage boost to keep the yield around 11 to 12%. It's the glue that holds the US side of the portfolio together. I used to hold a lot of this, and I sold it last September to go all in on YieldMax. The plan was always to return to it, and I'm ready for that now. So this is the income engine strategy. I'm milking the cash cows, YieldMax, for every cent that they produce. I'm taking that risk capital and moving it dollar by dollar into these 4 diversified funds. They're like the calves. Over time, my YieldMax position will naturally become a smaller percentage of my portfolio. Not because I sold it, but because the rest of the portfolio is growing around it. Plus, because of the NAV erosion. And that was always the plan, to use the high yield to escape the job. I've done that now. Now it's time to use the freedom to build wealth. If you want to see how this goes, see how much income I start producing as Portfolio 2 grows, stick around, get subscribed, and join me as I share all the messy truth.